Real analysis for proficiency in English. Let us start with the first snippet. What is this about? It is an important bill about a bill. Voice vote. Using the voice, voting in favor of something. But what is this vote about? Lok Sabha clears bill banning real money gaming. It is a bill. A bill has been cleared, and this bill is about what? Banning real money gaming. Ban, you all know. Ban means what? To prohibit. Banning something. Banning what? Real money gaming. Otherwise, nothing to learn. But when it comes to this, because money is involved, you have to recollect words like betting, gambling, gambling. All these are related words. Vices, VICES. Gambling is not a good habit. Obviously, you all know that. And coming to, very good. Who is this? Aspirant. Wonderful. Punt, wager. Those are new words. And coming to virtues and vices of a person. Virtues, good qualities. Vices, bad qualities. And here we have an important news item you guys have to read to know something about the organization. National security threat. US expands the sanctions on ICC officials. It goes with International Court of Justice, I suppose. And ICC, International Court of Justice, where is it? It is in Hague. And when it comes to International Court of Justice, I think recently they have something against Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister. And regarding that, US expands sanctions on ICC officials. Sanction has two different meanings, one positive, the other negative. Sanctioned, the fund has been sanctioned, positive. But coming to here, sanctions means restrictions, impose. You can also think of the word impose. Here, ICC, International Criminal Court. What do the letters stand for? International Criminal Court. International Court of Justice also you have to recollect. Coming to core sector activity, when we look at very good, I appreciate those. Recollect all related information. That will help in the long run. You are trying to consolidate your knowledge whenever you get a chance, whenever you get an opportunity. Coming to this one, sector. A simple word it looks like. Everyone knows core sector. Core, an important word. I usually tell students, if you go to the private sector, you talk to any company official, when they talk, while talking, they use my core competency, our core competency, means actual strength, main strength. Core sector, important sector, main sector, activity. Not positive news. July growth slows to 2% as fossil fuels drag business. It is about fossil fuels. A casual learner looks at fossil fuels, stops there. A smart learner looks at fossil fuels, add fuel to the fire, thinks of one idiom. And when it comes to energy, today we have broadly non-renewable sources of energy, renewable sources of energy. Non-renewable sources of energy known as conventional sources of energy, and renewable, non-conventional. And you should have some information about these. Solar energy comes under what? Renewable source of energy and non-conventional. Coming to the next snippet, data point, and you all know datum, data can be a collective noun. More migrant women off Bihar electoral roll. Our students now, they know for sure, I don't have to tell them what to recollect when they see a word like migrant, migrate, exodus, refugees, political asylum, immigrate, emigrate, fugitive, all the words. More migrant women off Bihar electoral roll. Off means they haven't been included. They have been excluded. Off Bihar electoral roll. And you all know this has been in the limelight for quite some time. I have done a few articles as well, editorials. More questions than answers in SAR exercise. Look at the expression. More questions than answers in that particular SIR exercise. You have to recollect the word diaspora. I guess this goes with hockey. I don't think it goes with cricket. You can respond if you know. Experienced squad means experienced team in this context. And when you see the word squad, squadron of aeroplanes, you have to recollect, and fleet of ships. Someone has 20 buses, then we can say fleet of buses also. Harmanpreet to lead India in Asia Cup. Does it go with hockey? That's what I feel. Somehow I feel it doesn't go with cricket. Cricket, I think Surya Kumar Yadav is going to lead, and Gill is going to be his deputy. Seasoned means what? Experienced, seasoned, someone veteran, someone with a lot of experience and expertise. It goes with hockey, team captain. Unfortunately, hockey is our national game, but hockey is not at all popular. Which sport is very popular? Cricket is very popular. Coming to the main, the headline of today's Hindu paper front page, bills to oust. Usually we pronounce this as oust. How do you pronounce this? Oust. But we have to say oust, ousted, not ousted. Bill to oust arrested ministers trigger chaos. Again, our students know chaos, chaotic situation. What does it mean? Total confusion. Total confusion, we use the word chaotic, chaos. Trigger means start chaotic situation. Many opposition leaders opposed that one. Coming to the next snippet over here, Delhi CM was attacked the other day. It is about that. A man slapped the Delhi chief minister and also manhandled, physically assaulted. Regarding that, man arrested for attack on Delhi chief minister. Something very unfortunate in a democratic country. And she was trying to receive the grievances, look at the grievances of the public. And in that meeting, she was attacked. That is really something not acceptable. Attack on Delhi chief minister. Attack, physical attack, what is the word we use? Assault. Assault means it could be physical, it could be sexual also. But physical attack, we use the word assault. Coming to the next one, NDA candidate files papers for vice presidential elections. Even this has been in the limelight. You know, vice presidential elections, you have to be in touch. Whoever wins, that could be a current affairs point question. Uttarakhand passes 9 bills amid uproar. Uproar is an important word. They have given in bank exams many a time. And you all know, passes 9 bills. Pass has many meanings. It goes with exams, you all know that. He passed away, he died. Pass out, to faint after having consuming drinks. So many meanings, to become blank. And here, passes, approves in a way, 9 bills amidst, you all know, means what? In the middle of, very good, all those related words, wonderful. Coming to uproar, uproar means noisy protest. Usually, if you read the Hindu paper or any newspaper for that matter, you come across certain words. They're part of the language that goes with an English newspaper. Uproar. There was an uproar in the parliament. There was an uproar, kick the bucket also. Very good. There was an uproar in the parliament, means noisy protest. That's an important word you have to know. Coming to the pick, here you can see feline drama. Feline goes with cats, small cats or big cats, but big cats we use the word predators. Here it is about tigers, you can make a tiger, and feline drama. Festival bash. How many of you know the meaning of the word bash? I'm sure many of you know. Birthday bash. When you try to celebrate a particular event or occasion, we use the word birthday bash, New Year bash, and festival bash. Celebration. Students of Srinivasa University City campus at Pandeshwar, Mangaluru, performing a tiger dance. Tiger dance as part of celebrations for Onam and Krishna Janmashtami on Wednesday. Onam, you all know, Kerala Malayalis festival. And coming to this feline, feline means related to cats, and bovine related to cattle. and canon related to dogs. All these you have to know. Coming to this one, why, though we are talking about tigers, why about cats? Tigers are nothing but big cats. Tigers, lions, leopards. We also refer, they are big cats. What are the big cats? Lion, tiger, cheetah, leopard, puma, all these. Based on that, the writer has used. Coming to the next one, Israel approves a plan to seize Gaza City, calls up its reservists for campaign of conquest. Israel has been thinking of conquering Gaza Strip. Based on that, Israel approves plan to seize, capture, take something using force, seize Gaza City, calls up res- its what reservists. Perhaps some people have reservations. They don't want to approve that. It, in a way, urging them to change their stand for campaign of conquest. That's all from today's front page of the. Okay, we have one more here. Are elected state governments at mercy of governors' whims and fancies? Oh, wonderful. Good that I have seen. We have something very important here. Second, many of our students, those who watch this session, my regular classes, online, offline, they know this. Whims and fancies. We can also use the word whims. What does it mean? Based on emotions, based on spontaneous reaction, without thinking. If you think, you have reasoned, you have used rationality, but without thinking, you take a decision, you try to do something immediately. When you try to do something immediately, you should recollect the idiom knee jerk reaction. Have you heard of that? Knee jerk reaction without thinking. And whims and fancies means are based on someone's emotions, not based on reasoning. Important idiom they have given many a time. At the mercy, usually we say at the mercy of someone. Here we have a state, we have the legislature, and elected body. Governor is only a titular head. What is the meaning of titular? You can also say titular. Namesake. Governor is there, but all the powers are with the chief minister. Same way we have the president, namesake, the head of the country, but who has the power? The prime minister. And here you have to recollect two foreign expressions, de jure and de facto. De jure means legally the head, and de facto means in reality the head of the country. And de facto head is the prime minister, de jure head is the president of the country. Like that. Question: are elected state governments at mercy of governors? Here, governors, the noun ends in the letter S, plural noun. Mercy killing, you have to recollect. For that, we also say euthanasia. Euthanasia means what? They have given many a time as a passage. You got to know something about that. Euthanasia means mercy killing. Fickle minded, I don't know why that has come up here. Haste makes waste. Fine, I appreciate your contribution. Governors, plural noun ending in the letter S, we should use the apostrophe after the letter S, not before. That's all from the front page. Let us go to these days. I have a very tight schedule. Maybe this week, maybe today is the last day. But from tomorrow, I will get back to the original style of presenting the Hindu paper, vocab, analysis, mini mocks, and effective English. All these are regular pattern. You have to bear with the because this week two three reasons. One reason I was down with a fever, cold, cough, all these and seasonal changes. You all know. Second reason, a very tight schedule. For today also, I'm going to show it and tell you all about today's editorial. But tomorrow onwards, it is going to be the regular pattern. It is not about this one. Let me go to the second editorial. What is the second editorial? Punishing process. We'll deal with this because this is in the limelight and across the world, not only in our country. Gender, anything related to gender, very important, do remember. And this is about punishing process. What is this punishing process? Gender identity recognition must not be trapped in bureaucratic hurdles. One important expression here. As a sharp learner, the moment you see bureaucratic hurdles, thank you very much, Mukesh. I appreciate that. Now I'm okay. No issues as such. Seasonal change, you all know that. And here, bureaucratic hurdles. What is the idiom that should come to your mind immediately? Next is second. Red tapeism. What is the meaning of red tape or red tapeism? Exactly the same thing. Bureaucratic hurdles. Who is a bureaucrat? Bureaucrat is an administrator. And bureaucratic hurdles, hurdle, hindrance, impediment, bottleneck, obstacle, all the words you have to recollect. Very good. Who is this? Ganga, looks like a new student. Krantik Kumar, aspirant. Wonderful. Geeta, Chandini, Pavani. I appreciate all these students. It is about, let me provide the background information. It is about, we have, when it comes to gender, gender denotes male or female. We have masculine gender, feminine gender. But some people in between, for them we use the word transgender. Trans, that is a root word. It is all about transgenders. Let us see what it says and how it goes. And the backdrop information, it goes with Manipur. The Manipur High Court's order to the state to issue fresh academic certificates to Beyonce Leishram is at once a matter of individual justice and a larger commentary on the state of transgender rights. As I said, this is all about transgender rights. A particular person in Manipur perhaps denied male chauvinism. Very good, Sangeeta. I appreciate that. Male dominated society. Some men think they are superior to women. That is known as male chauvinism. That's an important word they have given many a time. Here, it is about the rights of transgenders. Perhaps in Manipur, the state has denied the rights to a particular person who belongs to the category of transgender. And against that backdrop, the court has directed the state to issue the certificates. The Manipur High Court's order to the state to issue fresh academic certificates to Beyonce Leishram is at once, this High Court's order is what? It is immediately, at once, a matter of individual justice and a larger commentary on the state of transgender rights. What is the state of situation, scenario, state of transgenders and their rights? What should have been a simple should have been means did not happen. When something did not happen, we say it should have been something, it should have been this, it should have been that. What should have been a simple administrative correction became a legal battle, not because the law lacks provisions, but because its implementation remains frustrated by inertia and bureaucratic rigidity. When something doesn't happen, there are two possibilities. One possibility, no law. That is one possibility. Second possibility, law is there, but implementation is a problem. Lack of implementation, lack of commitment. Yes, administrator, administratrix. Very good, Kranti Kumar. What should have been a simple administrative correction became a legal battle. Not because the law lacks provisions. Law has provisions for transgenders. It is not because of lack of provisions for transgenders, but because the law lacks provisions. But because its implementation remains frustrated by inertia and bureaucratic rigidity. Because what is the reason? Provisions are there, but what is the problem here? Because its implementation remains frustrated. Generally we don't say that. It means they're not implementing properly. That results in frustration. Remains frustrated by inertia. Inertia is a physics term, but we can use it in effective English. Inactive, very good. Dormancy, Nagashri, wonderful. And Ganga also. Here, inertia means not being active. Let me tell you one important combination. In the US, in Western countries, many educated Americans, if you take the USA, they don't cast the vote because they don't believe in the system. That is known as political inertia. Today in our country, also about 10%, they're more, they never cast the vote because they don't believe in the system. And that is what precisely we call political inertia. Have you heard of this any time? An important combination you have to remember: by inertia and bureaucratic rigidity. Rigid opposite flexible. Two reasons, but provisions are there. In Nalsa versus Union of India, the Supreme Court recognized the right to self-identify gender. The editorial, the writer has given a statement. What is that statement? Previous sentence talks about the problem is not because of lack of provisions. Provisions are there, but lack of implementation is a problem. To justify that statement, here this sentence talks about the provisions. In Nalsa versus Union of India, the Supreme Court recognized the right to self-identify gender. We have the right to identify our gender. If I say I'm a man, one has to accept. If I say I'm a woman, one has to accept. If I say I'm a transgender, one has to accept. That is a provision in the law. Self-identify gender and ordered the state to treat trans persons as socially and educationally backward classes entitled to welfare measures. Why is this gender recognition important? Imagine, based on the provisions, someone has been identified as a transgender, then the person will be eligible for certain welfare measures. And based on that, self-identify gender and ordered the state to treat trans persons, means transgenders, as socially and educationally backward classes. Once you put a label, they are socially, educationally backward classes, they are entitled to certain rights and privileges. Entitled to what? To welfare measures. Otherwise, they'll be denied. The principle, an important word. Tell me, why is it important? When I underline the word, you should be ready to respond. It comes under confusing words. One, principal. He is a principal of the school, principal of the college. But what is the word over here? Principal. An important word. A casual learner looks at it casually, but a smart learner thinks of words like man of principles, man of ethics, man of values, above board, and all these important expressions one has to recollect. Man of principles, man of values, man of ethics, above board means honest, and honest, not a honest, no harsh sound. All these you have to quickly recollect. The principle was codified in the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act 2019. There's a legal provision which also obligated. An important word. What is the meaning of obligation? Obligation means it is your duty or responsibility, or you have promised to do it. Usually we say obligation, responsibility. And when it comes to obligation in English, we have two important helping verbs. One is have to or has to, the other one must. Must are owners, responsibility. Very good, aspirant. Personal obligation, we use must. But obligation imposed by an external authority or a situation, we use I have to do this, I have to do that. She has to do that. Obligated authorities to recognize a person's self-identified gender and issue official documents. According to law, if I say I'm so and so, a particular gender, the government has to accept and see whether I'm entitled to welfare measures or not and act accordingly. Together with Articles 14 and 21 of the Constitution, trans persons are thus entitled, based on those articles, important, to having their affirmed identity seamlessly recognized in all institutional records. Seamlessly, without any barriers, seamless, continuous, no barriers as such, and seamlessly recognized in all institutional records. Yet is an important contrasting word. Yet can be a conjunction, yet can be an adverb. As an adverb, why is it important? It should come at the end of the sentence. The train hasn't come yet. The master hasn't come yet, not in the middle. But you can also use a standard phrase like yet to come, yet to start. Yet to start, active voice, yet to be started, passive voice. Yet, here contrast. Their lived reality is very different. Lived reality, this is a bit confusing. You got to be careful. Aspirant and Chandini, very good. Vishnu also. You have to recollect the difference between still, yet. Still goes with affirmative and interrogative sentences, yet goes with negative and negative interrogative sentences. That also you have to recollect. Very good. I appreciate that. Despite the law, their lived reality is very different. Means the reality is different. How they live, that reality is different. How is it different? Despite the law being clear on self identification, bureaucratic setups often do not act unless compelled by higher authorities. Bureaucrat, Bureaucratic setups means officials, administrators, often do not act. There are so many important words, often adverb of frequency. Under 200 grammar rules, recently have taught 5 rules that go with, 4 rules go with adverbs of frequency. And the first one, between the subject and the verb. Often do not act unless. Unless is a negative word and it goes with an important grammar dimension. Double negatives. In English, double negatives are not acceptable. Unless you don't come, that is wrong. Unless you come, that you should recollect. Compelled. I use this quite often. I'm compelled. I don't want to say something, but I'm forced to say. Then what do I say? I'm compelled to say this. Means I'm forced to say this. Compelled by higher authorities. What do you understand? Usually, law is there, provisions are there, but officials don't react, don't act. If the official higher authorities don't force, they don't. If higher authorities force them, only then they take action. The next sentence talks about what? In Dr. Leisham's case, her university refused to update her educational records, citing procedural hurdles. And these procedural hurdles we have across the country, across the systems. Procedural hurdles. Symptomatic of a systemic malaise. Two important words. Symptoms, you know, symptomatic. Force, impel, compel. Very good. Here, symptomatic of a systemic malaise. Systematic, systemic. Two different words, they come under confusing words. Systematic approach. Simple to complex, easy to difficult, interesting to not so interesting. And what is the word systemic? Touching the entire system. Then we have to use the word systemic. Malaise, an important word, means a general feeling of illness, a general feeling of being sick or something not being proper. Malaise, it's a negative word. Administrators routinely defer to the most restrictive reading of procedure rather than the spirit of the law. There's another important word. DIFFER means what? To oppose. But defer means what? In a way to postpone. What do they try to postpone? Administrators routinely postpone the most restrictive reading of procedure rather than the spirit of the law. In the present matter, the university and education boards insisted that correction must begin with the earliest certificate qualifying recognition on a cascading set of bureaucratic approvals. Cascading, an important word. How many of you know this cascade, the word cascade? Cascading set of bureaucratic approvals. Beginning with what? Earliest certificate. Let us say school level. Postpone means a procrastinate. Very good, Chandini. Coming to 10th school, plus 2, graduation, post graduation. Here, the person, the subject, doctor, PhD, I guess, or MBBS, we don't know. And from the beginning till the highest level, should get bureaucratic approvals. Cascade means a series of waterfalls. You all know waterfall, but series of waterfalls, we use the word cascade. But cascading effect means multiplying. And here, cascading what? Set of bureaucratic approvals. Means not one approval. At every stage, there should be an approval. That's all about the first part of the editorial. Let us go to the second part. What does it say? Where the law envisages, an important word, envisage. I'm sure many of our students know. Envisage means what? Visualize, think of the future. Gender as a matter of self-determination for transgender individuals. Those who are transgender individuals, they have the right to decide whether to be a man or to be a woman. It is an individual and fundamental right. a matter of self-determination for transgender individuals. Many officials remain wedded to the binary markers assigned at birth. This is also an important wedded to. You all know the word wedding. Wedded to means fixed to, connected to. Binary markers. Binary, I'm sure all of you know, two. That means either boy or girl, man or woman. This is the binary approach. Fixed to the binary markers assigned at birth, and the mismatch translates into a stunted application of a simple idea. Another important word. Because of that mindset, binary mindset, it results in what? Mismatch translates into a stunted application of a simple idea. Stunted growth. Stunted we use with growth, development, progress. More than progress, growth and development. And when you take a plant or a person, only 1 foot, we say stunted growth. Have you heard of this word? Stunted, an important word. Stunt as a noun has a different meaning altogether. And here, stunted application of a simple idea. What is a simple idea here? It is not binary. It is, we have three: man, woman, transgender, dwarf, and a person is very short, 1 foot, 2 feet. We also, common word dwarf. Better word is midget, midget. Midget also means dwarf. The insistence on sequential corrections or elaborate justifications is essentially a refusal to accept that gender identity is not derived from paperwork. It is not derived from paperwork. A refusal to accept. They are not willing to accept that. And a series of corrections not practically possible. It becomes an uphill task. This sentence talks about the practicality of that. The insistence on sequential corrections or elaborate justifications is essentially, what does it mean? A refusal to accept that gender identity is not derived from paperwork. They don't want to do it. Dr. Leishram's struggle also shows how institutional reluctance to operationalize this principle forces trans persons into prolonged legal contest over what should be routine matters. This is also a little. Obviously, binary means two. Three, I don't know, to be very frank with you. Tri means a three. Simple root I can tell. Tri, triangle, triangular fight means three. Could be trinary, but I'm not quite sure about that. No guesses as such. Yes, tertiary means the fourth one. That has a different meaning. Tertiary has a different meaning. Generally, we say primary, secondary, tertiary. But tertiary means beyond the second one, a different connotation. Dr. Leishram's struggle also shows how institutional reluctance to operationalize this principle forces trans persons. They are forced to do what? Prolonged legal battle, contest over what should be routine matter. Such episodes reveal a troubling truth. All these episodes reveal something. What do they reveal? Some truth, troubling truth. Trans persons or transgenders navigating stigma, an important word, stigma. How many of you know the meaning of the word? You have to check Geeta Srinivas. I'm not quite sure, to be very frank, to be candid. One has to check. I will confirm tomorrow if you insist. Here, stigma means some people in the society, they don't approve certain professions, certain things. When society does not accept something, disapproves, then we say there is a stigma on them, stigma on that particular activity, stigma on that particular profession. Navigating stigma means going through stigma and discrimination, are forced to expend disproportionate time and resources. Expend. Simple. Spend, remember the word expend. Expend, they have to spend a lot of time and money and resources for a simple thing. Expend disproportionate time and resources to access rights that are legally theirs. It is their legal right. For that, they have to spend time and resources, cannot be justified. The High Court judgment is undoubtedly positive. It also sets a precedent. See, so many important words today's editorial. Precedent means something that happened before. unprecedented, never happened before. It sets a precedent that may help other trans persons and signals to administrators that procedural rigidity cannot override constitutional and statutory guarantees. Procedural inertia, procedural rigidity cannot override constitutional rights, constitutional and statutory guarantees. Statutory means legal, statute means a written law. Bridging the gap. Now there is a gap. How to bridge the gap? Bridging the gap between legal rights and their application will require both institutional reform and cultural change within the bureaucracy that draw from an understanding of gender as lived reality. Again, they have used, the writer has used lived reality. There's a gap. Law implementation mindset of the bureaucrats, bureaucratic hurdles. What is the solution? Here, bridging the gap between legal rights and their application, or in a way, implementation, will require what? Both institutional reform, that means bureaucrats, officials have to be changed, they have to change their binary mindset, and cultural change. Cultural change is also very important. Sometimes what happens, legally the person knows what is right, what is wrong. Culturally bound person doesn't feel like accepting something. Cultural change is also equally required. Within the bureaucracy that draw from an understanding of gender as lived reality, from bureaucracy, expected from bureaucracy. It ends on that note, a very important editorial. And what is this? These go with colors. When it comes to printing, Uday Kumar, any newspaper, any magazine, you see this, especially newspapers, they represent colors, the colors used. If you take colors, usually we say primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. When you mix red and blue, you get orange. When you mix blue and yellow, you get green. It's all about colors. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session. And from tomorrow, let us hope, with the fingers crossed, our regular pattern with mini mocks. I'll try to do my best. Thank you very much.